What's up? It's football kickoff day, Sunday, first games of the season coming up, and I'm out here doing what I do. What's particular about this situation is that I hadn't dealt with the cutting this much this season because it's been, no rain since January. But now, it's back to growing. So what I'm going to do now is start some of this weed control stuff. The backyard is looking pretty good. I had to end up using some plant growth regulator, and man, it does a deal. I mean, that plant growth regulator, man, helps me out. Instead of cutting every 3 days, I mean, literally after a week, I basically had very little clipping, very little growth, and it really does help you out. I'll say this for anyone who has Bermuda lawn. I mean, unless you have a small lawn, I don't see how you can keep up with it with having to cut it so often and you wanting it to look pristine. However, I do get a lot of people, they substitute their going to the gym and working out and all that other stuff for yard work. So, them cutting the yard constantly, it's kind of a twofold situation. But for the other people who are not, I mean, this plant growth regulator, I'm going to say that it's a must. I don't see how you can get around it. And the plant growth regulator does a lot more than just keeping your grass from growing tall. It does a lot more. I think I'm going to do a video on those other things that it does, including weed control. The plant growth regulator helps with weed control. I'll make a video about it if you'd like to subscribe to my channel and get all the updates that I have. But I give you specific reasons and types of mode of actions of different types of plant growth regulator. The two most popular, the most popular probably being T-Nex, but that are new is a soil active plant growth regulator. And I get into the way you can manipulate the modes of actions of these two to further your lawn journey and make it a lot better on you and make you have a great lawn. I'm about to put some I got about 2 acres that I got to do some weed control on, and it really does help with cutting also, because a lot of what I'm cutting is weeds out in the back. So I'm going to pull out the beast over here, and this is what I'm going to be using. I can get about half an acre coverage off of one fill up on this here. So it's going to help the job go a lot faster and get everything spread out pretty evenly. So another thing that makes this right here more convenient is that trying to mix some of these products together. For example, this mist, you have to mix salt. It used just a little of it per 1,000 square feet. Is really hard trying to get coverage for 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 square foot yard, and trying to get that mix is crazy hard. This tenacity mesotrione is also another one that takes very little product. So when you have a huge tank, it's easier to put out a 1/4 of an ounce and put it off in here, and then cover a whole half acre. So that's one of the main benefits of this, having this bigger tank. You can easily mix your herbicides together. Now this tenacity, I really can make a whole separate video on it. This is not for Bermuda grass, and it's not a cure-all, but I use it during my overseed because it does stop a lot of grass from germinating. It stops a lot of weeds from germinating, but it'll let your seeds come through. And it doesn't kill everything, but a lot of stuff that I have in my lawn, it does. So when the grass pretty much comes up free and clear of weeds, but it's still a tad bit too early for me with temps still in the 90s and all that other stuff. So we're gonna hold off on this herbicide here, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit with some dismiss, and then I'm going to use a 3-way broadleaf herbicide like this triplet, and of course use a surfactant, and I'm going to hit it with some nitrogen at the same time. One of the reasons why I'm going to use the nitrogen is going to enhance the killing effect of the herbicides. And the reason why this nitrogen is going to do that, which is, you got to understand the mode of actions of these products. You might start hearing me say a lot of that because more I understand about the mode of actions, I can manipulate a lot of the things from these chemicals. So one of those things is the mode of action of one of the products off in this triplet is that it grows the grass to death. The grass takes in this chemical and it just grows itself to death. And say for instance, have you ever put out some products, and a lot of people don't know this, you got the winter and fall weeds, and you put some weeds out and it might be too cold, for example, and the grass is not actively growing. Well, if it's not actively growing, then the product that you put on it, the herbicide that you put on it to try to kill it, well, the reason why I didn't kill it because the weed isn't growing. Next time you take a look at your label and you look at the instructions, you will see on there the weed must be actively growing. That's because the mode of action is growing itself to death. So this nitrogen, we all know, is going to boost the grass growth. It's going to boost the grass growth, hence making the herbicide that I put down grow within the plant even faster. That way I could get a quick kill off. I'm boosting the kill off, and that's something that's not really I haven't heard anybody else talk about it, but that's, you can look up all this modes of actions of certain chemicals on lawns and you'll find out that that's what's happening. And we already know what fertilizer does to a lawn or weed. So that's how I get my weeds to kill off. Anyway, that should be another video, but that's just an example of what I got going on this Super Bowl Sunday. So maybe at one of these halftimes, I'm going to try to get some pregame stuff going on. Maybe halftime, I get out here and get this stuff mixed up and I get it all put down, and I'm getting ready for fall. It's coming. Evening, nighttime temps have crept down into the 60s, which is great. So that is really getting to the germination temperature for the fescue. Now, you got to keep in mind the air temperature and the ground temperature is two different things. So I'm wanting that temperature of the soil to be in the 60s. That's going to be the prime. All the way from the 60s to 70s, that's when I'm going to get the most growth. I'm kind of waiting for that, and then till then I'm still doing my my regular regimens and stuff like that. And one of the things that a lot of people are starting to do is put out pre-emergent, but I got different plans for the backyard, putting out the ryegrass, and then of course I'm overseeding so that podiamine or dimension pre-emergent herbicides is out of the picture for me right now because I'm going to be overseeding. Anyway, let me get this thing filled up. I'm about to go and check out and see what's starting with these games and see what's what. Got the wife on a beer run, and I'll catch with you guys later.